Hi, this is Hardball Retro. Welcome to the Retrodome. Today we will be conducting a draft using Old Time Baseball. This game was published in 1995 by Stormfront Studios. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to be doing a three-part video here. So part one will be the conducting of the draft. Part two will be simulating the season. And part three will be reviewing the results. So let's jump on in. I'm going to let the intro play here for a minute, and then we'll get started. Apologize, there might be too many things running on my computer at the moment, and the intro was a little bit choppy there, but you get the idea. Alright, so I've kind of pre-staged a draft. We're going to use the 1954 season. But I want to show you a couple of issues that you'll need to deal with if you're using either Old Time Baseball or Tony La Russa Baseball 3. I haven't tried this with La Russa 4, but I believe the steps would be basically the same. So let's go ahead and discuss the couple of issues that you need to deal with prior to the draft. So let's go in. We're going to, let's see, we're going to load a universe. All right, load, erase universe. So we're going to load a universe, so league, and then load, erase universe. All right, select the universe. We're going to select one from the CD-ROM. All right, you can see my 1954 is waiting for us here, but we'll pick a similar year. Let's scroll down. So Old Time Baseball comes with, we've got the Negro Leagues, we've got 1871 down to 1981. If you use some of these, let's say 1970s and early 80s seasons, one thing you're going to encounter is any player that was still playing at the time that this was released in 1995, they're going to show up in these years as just batter or pitcher as their last name. So for example, I'm trying to remember who I saw in there. I don't know, let's say Dave Winfield probably, Goose Gossage, George Brett. I think some of the names that you might see are missing. Folks that had either retired, recently retired, or maybe they couldn't acquire the license from the, basically the license for those player names. So you're going to see them as batter or pitcher. You're going to look at their stats, you're going to know who they are, and you just have to enter their names. But that's not what I wanted to discuss here. There are a couple of bugs, and I do have a patch installed for Old Time Baseball, but it does not address these issues. I don't know if a later patch was released or not. So let's just pick the next year, and let's just select 1955. If you did notice, I selected CD-ROM, but I actually have the CD-ROM copied onto my computer, so I don't have a CD on my laptop. At any rate, so let's do CD-ROM, select the year, click load. Alright, so that's going to pull the 1955 season into here. Let's look at edit player stats. So utilities, edit player stats. And just for the sake of simplicity here, so you're going to scroll down through the player names. Alright, so actually we can kill two birds with one stone right here. Mickey Mantle, right field. Well, if you look at his 1955 stats, you're going to want him to be a center fielder, not a right fielder. Do you want to recalculate the player ratings based on the new stats? You can hit yes to this. Alright, so what happens when you import these seasons from the Old Time Baseball CD-ROM? For some reason, all of the switch hitters come in as right-handed hitters. So you just click on the R under the B section here for bats. And you're going to change it to an S for switch hitter. The other issue I found is that a lot of the players, a lot of the outfielders default to right field for some reason. You're going to want to go through and click on the position until you get center field, and then hit done. So if you want, really accurate or a more accurate simulation, you're going to want to fix those issues prior to the draft. Or if you're just playing a straight season, I would still recommend doing this. So you'd have to go through each player, and what I generally do with this is I have this running in DOSBox, and then I have Baseball Reference up in the background, so I can kind of hover the DOSBox window over whatever team. So I'm looking up 1955 Yankees. I have the Baseball Reference section for the Yankees offense in my background. I have this hovered over kind of the center, so I can see the players on the left side, and I can see their positions on the right side. It's the rightmost column on Baseball Reference. So you would see, that some of these guys, I'm not looking at it right now, but let's say Noren had maybe left field was his primary, but then he has an 8 and a 9 for center field and right field. So I'm not going to change his, but I'm just going to go in here for a minute. Right, so he has left and center. Well, let's say you need him to play right field as well, or he did in real life. You're going to want to toggle through here and choose OF. What's nice about the position 2, you only have the primary positions here, but in position 2 you have OF, IF, OF/IF for the multi-positional guys. Let's say like a Tony Phillips or I don't know. Basically, those super utility guys. Catcher OF, catcher IF. Alright, so we'll put him back the way we found him. Well, we could click restore, but anyway, so those are two of the issues you've got to deal with. The third issue is for the purposes of the draft. If you have players that played on multiple teams, you're going to want to delete one of them. So I'm not sure if I have an example from 55 here. I should have done that ahead of time, but let's see if we can find somebody quickly here. Yeah, I should have looked this up. You know what? Give me so it's not going to show up on the screen, but I'm going to walk you through how to do this. All right, so you bring up Baseball Reference. And you're going to type in, actually I've got the URL here somewhere. I thought I had the URL, I don't. But let's say you go to 1955. Let me see if this will bring it up. Here we go. So in the upper search window on Baseball Reference, you're going to type in the year, space, major, space, league. So 1955, space, major, space, league. Then you'll click on search, and it should respond with 1955 Major League team statistics. This way you don't have to look at American League and National League and kind of toggle back and forth. This will have everything. Scroll down a bit, and we want to go to down towards the bottom. There's a section that says More 1955 Major League Pages. You want to click on batting. So in this instance, batting is going to incorporate every player that played that year. All right. Once you're on 1955 Major League Standard Batting, you're going to go down to Player Standard Batting, and then you're going to click on Team. All right, because that'll sort the players by team. And what it's going to do is it's going to bubble up to the top anybody that played for 2 teams, 3 teams, or 4 teams. All right, they're now going to be listed at the top of this, at the top of the page here. So we can click on, let's see, let's get somebody with some significant number of at-bats here, so we're sure that they're playing. Okay, Enos Slaughter. So I'm going to click into his page, and I'm going to see that in 1955 he was on the Yankees and the Kansas City A's. So now you want to see in old-time baseball, is he on both teams? He should be on Kansas City because he had almost all of his at-bats there, so he is here. All right, now does he exist on the Yankees roster? That's a great question, and he does. All right, so you don't want him in the draft twice. So that's my, I guess that's one issue, right? We don't care because we're going to delete this one. All right, so there's 2 Enos Slaughters, we're going to delete one. What we do is we type in the last name, we delete the last name out, and we type in empty. All right, you can leave all the other stats the same. Click done. All right, and he disappears from here. One thing you'll need to do is if he is, let's pick somebody else where this might be the case. I just want to show this is something I ran into, but it's got to be a guy that's got a decent number of at-bats on 2 teams. All right, he is probably not going to be it. How about Jim Busby? Jim Busby, 50. Here we go. He's on the White Sox and on the Senators. Okay. All right. So, and again, we should see him here. White Sox, Busby. There he is, Jim Busby, center field, and Senators. Jim Busby, center field. Okay. So the issue that you have now, all right, let's go to player rosters. Washington. So he had fewer at-bats on Washington. Let me confirm that. Yes, fewer at-bats on Washington. All right. And let's check Washington's active players. He's in the active list. If I go to delete him now, he's not going to be deleted. He's going to show up as Jim empty. All right, so let's actually do this. I'll show you how to fix it. We're going to leave him up here. There's 2 different ways. You could, right now, you could drag him down to reserves. All right, when he's with his actual correct name. Once he's in reserves, then if you do change the name to empty, he'll disappear from the team. If you type in empty and he's on the active list, I'll show you what happens. Okay, and it's not a big deal, it's just something to be aware of. Right, Washington. Busby, yes. Alright, so Jim empty, done. Alright, if we scroll down here, there he is, Jim empty. And you're like, uh-oh, why didn't that delete him? Okay, so we go to the player roster. He is active. What do? We gotta drag him down here, right? Anywhere. For Killebrew. Let's say for Killebrew. Alright, so we put Killebrew up. Oh, where did Jim Empty go? He's gone. Cool. Alright, so that's how you do that. Last thing I want to mention here before we get going. We can use Mr. Busby as the example again. He should still exist on Chicago. We didn't touch his Chicago entry. There he is. Alright, this isn't something that I bothered doing for our tutorial, but it's something that you might want to consider. This has the split stats here. How would I phrase this? The stats that he compiled for the White Sox only are currently listed here. It's not the combined stats. So you're going to want to be aware of this. You may want to update these totals in the versus left versus righty splits to be the combined stats for any of these players that had multiple stints, played for multiple teams during a given season. You're going to want to address this so that you have his 500 some odd at bats. I did not do that for this tutorial, and this would be the same for batters and pitchers. You're going to have this situation here where you don't have all of his numbers in here because he was on multiple teams. So if we had looked at his Washington stats, he'd have 100 and some odd at bats for them. We deleted those out, but it doesn't fix this here. Okay, so enough of this. Let's go to the 1954 season. All right, load that up. And we've got a tiny bit of prep work we do before the draft. So that's in, here we go. We go to main, fantasy draft. Again, this is the same with Old Time Baseball, Tony La Russa 3, and I believe it's going to be similar, if not the same, for Tony La Russa 4. So, choose the style of draft order. Do we want a cycle, a snake, or a random draft? I'll do a snake draft. Alright, use rotisserie points. Sure. Auction style. I'm not going to do auction because it's going to take us longer. But this is a neat feature that you can do an auction draft and bid against the computer. You can bid against, if you had multiple humans either in the room with you or set up a remote like a Zoom or a WebEx session. You could conduct an auction draft and draft these guys onto your different teams. Prompt user after each selection. I'm going to say no to that. Alright, but we will do a snake draft. So that was draft rules. Team pool. Okay. And for this, let me just check my notes here. We're going to have all the teams in the pool, obviously. And I'm trying to remember what these other checkboxes are. I think that's for whether they're human or computer managed, but I just want to check myself here. Let's see. And I didn't make a note of that. I'm going to look in the manual. I thought I did. team general manager, edit manager. Here it is. So we're leaving draft participants and pool, we're leaving everybody checked here. This would be if you didn't want, I don't know, for some reason you were like, I don't want the 54 Pirates in here. If you didn't want the players in the player pool, you would uncheck this box. If you didn't want Pittsburgh to be one of the teams that were drafting players on to, you would uncheck them here. So, you know, maybe you only wanted to do the American League players from 54, you would uncheck everybody over here. All right. If that's not clear, hopefully you have the manual. All right, so draft, team general manager. All right, here we go. Here's human and computer. I'm going to be, it really doesn't matter to me. This is way before I was born. I'm going to be the Cubs. All right. And everybody else is computer general manager. I'm not going to mess with this, but I'll show you it. General manager profile. Just pick my team. Doesn't matter, because I'm going to be selecting anyway. All right. So you can get kind of into the weeds here a bit and tell the computer general manager. Oh, why does this say Cleveland? It doesn't matter. You can adjust how their bias is towards the available players in the pool when they're making their selections. So if you want it balanced, if you want a more power-hungry team, if you want a team that steals bases, if you want a team that is looking to go heavy on the pitching side, good defense, and then over here it's the balance between starters and closers, middle relief. You can assign weights to each of these, and they have to total up to 100. So that's all that is. Do we have to do anything here? We're not calculating rotisserie points. We're just going to use whatever they have listed. It's just more for like a guideline. If you ever got partway into the draft and you didn't like the results, you could restart it. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in, and we're going to draft here, 1954. So I'm going to go to draft day. All right, so hopefully I've got all of the options configured properly. All right, so there we go. Willie Mays, Duke Snider, Kluszewski, Eddie Matthews. All right, it's my turn. So what I like to do here, ROT is rotisserie points. I'm just going to sort it on that. All right, and here's the batters. And if I click here, I can look at pitchers, sort it again. All right, so Robin Roberts is the best pitcher here, 336 innings. Endurance, that's another column you want to look at. You can drill down here looking at specific things. I can see who has the most innings. I can sort it on that. And this is from the remaining players, right? We already saw that a few players already came off the board. You may ask why I choose 1954. It's, in my opinion, it was kind of actually several reasons. I'm reading the 1954 book by Bill Madden is one reason. So now I'm getting a little bit more knowledge on some of the players from that particular year. The fact that the Yankees failed to make the playoffs, or failed to win the World Series even, for the first time in 6 seasons, right? I think they won 5 in a row from 49 to 53. So, and then there's also, with the integration, um, the players are they're starting to be uh, basically. I thought there was a good a really good player pool here with guys from the Negro Leagues. Um, so there's familiar names in that respect. There's a lot of good rookies here. Um, I think it's Hank Aaron and Ernie Banks, among others, that are starting to break in here. So, at any rate, I thought it was a cool season to demonstrate here for the tutorial. So, okay, well, who am I going to choose from all of these amazing players here? Okay, so I'm going to choose Stan Musial, and I'm going to click Accept. Alright, well, there goes Ted Williams. And you can see who's being selected here. Just seeing these guys go off the board, and it's so difficult to choose, right? So, I mean, like even here, I've got an Ernie Banks still on the board. Some of these player names. All right. All right, so let's look at the pitching side. Who came off the board there? Some of those 20 game winners definitely no longer on the board. Grommick, Haddix, Whitey Ford, Ruben Gomez, Bob Grimm. So I don't want to wait too long for a pitcher. I'm going to go back to batters though for a sec here. A couple guys with 500 slugging still. Alvin Dark. Let's look at on base here. I mean, you got your guys with a handful of at-bats are going to show up. Then you got Richie Ashburn. Even nobody ran back then. Look at that, 11 steals. Just stolen bases were not a part of the game at all. This was a lot of station to station. All right. I mean, I like Rosen, but he's only got 466 at-bats there. Let's look at him for a second here. Still has 137 games. I'm going to wait around and see if we can get Jackie Robinson. All right, I think I'm going to Al Rosen here. Let's see. Get a third baseman. Al Rosen. All right. I didn't do any draft prep for this. I'm just kind of winging it, so I apologize if I'm taking a little bit longer than I should. So Jackie is still here down in 18. I'm gonna let him sit out there, and hopefully he doesn't get picked off here. And because I'm thinking I should maybe get a pitcher. Grommick, Haddix, or Ford. I think we're going to go with Harvey Haddix. All right. He might be watching this video screaming at me to take somebody else, but again, I didn't study these. Whitey Ford's still there. How about batting wise? What do we have? Oh, still got some decent batters here. Jackie's still there. Do we risk it again? We might. And if we do risk it, who are we taking? And I apologize, folks. I did not live through the 1950s. I'm old, but I'm not that old. So if I mispronounce some of these names, I apologize in advance. Let's see. Tough choices here. I don't know. Should we grab another pitcher? I think that might be a wise decision. I mean, Steve Gromick, not a name that I'm highly familiar with, but just looking at the endurance on these guys too. Bob Feller with a 9 endurance. That's awesome. I think I'm gonna Steve Gromick. Accept. All right. Holding my breath here. I think we're gonna get Jackie now, just because I want to have Jackie Robinson on my team. Even though there are players that are more highly rated, I feel like if I wait too long, we're gonna potentially miss out here. So Jackie Robinson it is. I know he has a lower number of at-bats than I'd like, but it's all good. Okay, some really good players coming off the board there. Alright, still have Del Innes here, Jim Greengrass. He's almost slugging 500. We've got Smokey Burgess, 368, 510 slug. Would be nice to have a catcher like that. Carl Furillo, and some of these guys are tough to pass up. I'm taking Smokey as my catcher here. I know he's doesn't have a great number of at-bats, but he's my starting catcher. And then we come back around and we get our get another outfielder here. We can save. Where is it here? Save draft in progress. Right. Overwrite the current save. Yeah, that's from when I was doing some testing. So yes, you can overwrite it. All right, then you can leave the draft for a moment. Click on player roster. And there we go, just so I can see who I've got, what positions I need to fill. Alright, so Jackie, he can fill in for Rosen, and he can play some left field for me. I need a center fielder. I need pretty much all of the infield except for third base. And then if I click into pitching staff, I've got Haddix and Gromick. So let's go back to the draft. Just go draft day. And we're back where we left off. So while these guys would be nice to have, these are all left fielders. Okay, if you left click on the guy, you get his numbers here. So Furillo could play center potentially. I'm gonna say these guys are mostly corner outfielders. Oh, Monty Irvin. 19 homers, 64 ribbies, 13 doubles. Oh, and you just notice that we have a photo from Monte Irvin, so some of the players do have a player photo. I'm not sure who they licensed them from, but there are a number of photos in Old Time Baseball, which is another nice feature. And you've got the old time, I think 16 old time ballparks as well. I know he has 101 walks, but Whitey Ford as my third starter would be pretty sweet here. I think we're doing that. There we go, Whitey Ford. Ferrillo was the next pick. That figures. Alright, so I think it's time to find us a... Oh, there goes Hank Aaron and Monte Irvin. Ouch. Okay, what do we got left? Let's see. Rotisserie points. Irv Noren. Oh, now we're starting to go into the less than 500 at bat range here. Oh, a lot of these guys came off the list here. Oh, Vic Power, Wally Post. Okay, so I was just double checking. Basically, nobody with 500 at bats left, so we're gonna have to scramble here, find ourselves a first baseman, and then we'll deal with middle infield. Unless we want to go with Gil McDougald now. And Roy Campanella had an awful year there, 207. But not just that, I mean, his on-base, his slug, everything was down. Don't know if that was injury related or what happened. Sid Gordon's got some nice numbers here. Let's look at slug. Sort on slug. These are low at-bat guys. I mean, Lopata and Burgess would be a nice tandem there. Skowron, not really enough at-bats. Although, at this stage, I'm going to be scrambling anyway. I still need a center fielder. Hank Bauer. Alright, let me get back to this way. And McDougald. I mean, one of the cool things about this is that you're going to get stuck with a situation where one or two of your starters, starting players on offense, is going to be not a superstar, I guess would be the polite way to put it, right? You're not going to get an all superstar team, especially if you're using the entire player pool and you're drafting the same amount of teams that existed in real life. So if you're using the entire player pool and there's only 6 or 8 teams that you're drafting onto, then you're going to wind up with superstars at every position. So I prefer this method. I learned some of the players that I didn't know about or didn't know much about this way. So I'm trying to figure out, it's to me like putting a puzzle together, like, okay, I've got enough left-handed at-bats at first base, then I need a right-handed platoon partner who's left. Alright, I think we gotta go kind of best available guy, but this is going to be a struggle defensively if we go in this direction. I am going to use the DH here. I know it wasn't a thing in 1954, but I don't care to watch pitchers bat. So Noren is pretty much the best player available. So we're going to do that, and we'll figure out defensively. Maybe we'll try to get somebody who can help us out there as a defensive replacement. So we still have Wally Post here, but I really need I don't think he plays first, does he? No, right field, center field. Oh, he does play center. Oh, maybe that's our center fielder. Post. Bam. Alright. Let's see who else I'm missing out on here. Okay. A lot of pitchers are going off the board here. A lot of pitchers. Oh my goodness. Alright. Well, I like a super utility guy as much as the next person, so second base, third base, McDougald. There we go. Alright, so I need a shortstop, I need a first baseman. And Joe Collins, decent numbers down there. I do need a right-handed hitting catcher. I think I can wait a little bit longer. Carry, third base only. Let's just quick look at pitchers. So I don't click into pitchers and say like, oh, what am I going to do now? Ooh, Bob Grimm. Bob Feller. Why is Bob Grimm still here? He's only got a 6 endurance. Maybe that's why. He went 20 and 6. Jack Harshman. You know what? I'll take Bob Grimm at this period in the draft, right? Pitchers coming off the board. Oh my goodness, look at all those pitchers go. I guess that was a wise decision. Bob Feller's still here with his 9 endurance and 140 innings. And who do we have batting wise left? Like I said, still need a shortstop. Andy Carey's still here. Sid Gordon is here with his 414 on base. Let's just quickly by position shortstops. Just out of curiosity. There's still a few of them here. Okay, and let's go back to all players. And I want to save the draft here. I want to look at my roster briefly, because I think I still need a first baseman. Unless I plug Musial in at first, or Rosen. Maybe that's the play. Maybe I put Musial at first. I think I'm liking that. Musial. Jackie in left. Noren can play anywhere. Post can play center. Maybe not optimal defensively, but I think I might do that. Or maybe if I do carry and I play Rosen at first. Let's look at that. That's a thought. Let's go back to the draft. I don't know, I'm liking Sid Gordon's numbers here. I think we're going to go with Sid Gordon. Accept. Alright. Feller goes off the board. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, we need a shortstop, so it's either Grammas, Bowling, or Strickland. Not liking Strickland's numbers at all. Bowling and Grammas, pretty similar numbers here. If we get Grammas, he's almost a full-timer, so we'll do that. Bill Sarney or Roy Campanella. And we have Muscaurin with those nice numbers at first. I think we may Bill Skowron, but let's just see what's left on the pitching board here. Oh, they really ate into the available pitchers here. Gordon Jones. I think I'm going to Gordon Jones just so I have another pitcher. And then we'll deal with getting us a reliever or yeah, okay. Oh, there goes my catching options. Campanella going off the board there. Joe Collins at first. Bill Skowron. I'm going to get Bill Skowron here. He's got some nice numbers. Alright, we need a backup. It's short and second. I think Bowling is shortstop only. He's still out here. Shortstop in third. Who else do we got? Strickland. Not really thrilled with those numbers. Okay, let's see. Frank Bowling. Cancel. I didn't mean to do that. Let's look at second base here. Hatfield and Dittmer still out there. Maybe I'll wait around and get one of those guys just as my backup at second base. I still need a right-handed hitting catcher, don't I? I know Sarney and Campanella came off the board. Oh, look at Walker Cooper here. I'll take that. I'll take that every day. There we go. Walker Cooper, gone. Alright. Now, let's see. All players. Collins. Oh, look at Dusty Rhodes' numbers. Those are insane. I gotta get me some of that. Look at that. Dusty Rhodes. Awesome. Okay, now by position, I know I need second base. How are my second base backups looking here? They're starting to whittle down here. Dittmer, Majeski. Okay, and let's look at pitchers. have in the way of pitchers? Not much. I'm going to be scrambling at pitching here. Goodness. They're just going to go off of innings, unfortunately. And obviously I don't want to get anybody with an 8 ERA, but Ralph Beard it is. And then we're probably going to go with Tommy Byrne here with his 10 endurance. Sure. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit thin on the pitching side, it looks like. And I think I can pick, I've got 10 active and 5 reserve pitchers maybe. So I'm really behind on the pitching side. These aren't great numbers, but I just need the pitching. Bob Greenwood. Bam. I'm going to pause in a second and see where I'm at here. Let's save the draft. Yes. Look at the old roster here. So I've got all the positions covered. Let's double check. So Musial at first, Rosen at third, Jackie in left, Burgess and Cooper doing the catching. I've got Noren. He's either going to be in right field or DH. Post center, McDougal. Noren can play a little bit of center apparently. Gordon in right. Gramis at short. Skowron will help out at first or DH. And Dusty Rhodes off the bench. Alright, so I'm in pretty good shape here. I do want to back up second baseman. Otherwise, we're just going to fill in. And pitching staff. Pitching, we're going to be struggling in our bullpen, I'd say, a bit, but pretty decent shape there. Alright, let's look at our options over here. Bill Wilson still out there as a potential backup center fielder. Ferris Fain would be nice to have, but we've got second base Jerry Coleman. Let's look at by position again. Sometimes you got to go for need here. Dittmer or Majeski. Okay. It's got a 380 slug. So does Majeski pretty much. He's got a higher batting average. I think we're going to go with Mr. Majeski here. There we go. Okay, go back to pitchers here. Who's left? Look, sort by innings now. It's not looking pretty. Bob Kusava. We do have to remember that I didn't combine the stats for those players on multiple teams. So some of these guys, if you're looking at their numbers, they probably had more innings and so forth in real life. But again, this is for tutorial purposes, so I didn't feel that it was necessary to clean some of that up. I did fix the everybody that switch hits and fixed most of the right field issues. So Constanti, 18 and a third of .98 ERA. Let's do that. Hey, there's Tommy Lasorda. Carl Spooner off the list. Okay. Al Worthington, 18 innings, 3.5. Alright. I think that'll at least fill up my active pitchers. Okay. Lauren Pepper came off the list. Alright. Bob Darnell. Let's look at batters, because I think I'm still a batter or two short here. Get somebody that can fill in some at-bats here. I mean, if you're going to leave Bill Wilson with his 15 homers out here all day long, I'm going to take him. Sure. You know, twist my arm. And Phil Cavaretta, 419 on base. You're coming with me. Right? So who's left? Not a lot of great options anymore on the hitting side. And Bob Serve, not bad. I'm a little bit concerned about rounding out my pitching staff though, so let's take a look here. I mean, a 4.5 ERA at this point. Bob Darnell, Jerry Lane. I'll take not much to choose from here, folks. Yeah, once we go down here, we're into single-digit innings. So let's get one more. Jim Pierce, 11 innings, no ERA. Sure. Taken. And let's go with Jerry Lane. And after that, I'm not really going to worry about pitching anymore. Yeah, we'll get a couple more guys, but let's see if we can pick off whatever's left here on the batting side. Jack Dittmer could help us out at second. Eddie Yost. That's only 47 at-bats, though. Bob Serve is still here with his 470 slug. Bobby Hoffman, 456. Eddie Robinson. Take Bob Serve off the bench. All right. Who's up next? Take Jack Dittmer, please. Help us out at second base. All right, all these guys are starting to peel off this list here, which makes total sense. What are we left with on the pitching side? There can't be much left at all here. Bob Darnell's still out here. Maybe I'll take him. 14 innings. Sure. get stuck with a couple of these guys, but I'm not going to fret over that. Let's look at Slug again. Bilko Hoffman's still here. Hoffman 8 homers. And he's first base, second base. Sure, he's coming with us. Bobby Hoffman taken. Who's left? Okay, Bilko came off the board. Oh, look at all these guys. Oh, almost got all the batters there. One batter left. Pitchers, what's left? Anything? Yes, there are. Not great. Cal Hogue, sub 5 ERA. At this point, that's what we're looking for, right? Yeah, not much to pick from here. Frank Larry, 3 2/3. 5 Ks. Sure, Frank Larry. The rest of these guys coming off the list, and we're going to be done shortly here. Cal Hogue, Ramon Monzant. That's pretty much the list here. Alright, Cal Hogue, 12 walks, 11 innings. Yikes. Okay. Really not much to choose from here. I'm going to try to limit the damage here and get somebody with low innings. It's not going to hurt us too much. Well, we're going with Joe Black. Then the draft is over. Okay. Do you want the computer to set your rotational lineup? Sure. Yeah, you can do that. Universe name, we'll call it 1954 Draft League. That won't fit, so 1954 Draft. Universe abbreviation, 54D, I guess. American, National, done. Alright, so this goes ahead and that creates a new universe. Right now, if I look, actually I won't be able to look. So let's do this, load, no. Let's save it just in case, right? Okay. Draft, here we go, exit draft. Alright, so I saved it just in case. I'm going to do exit draft. So now I'm going to load my universe. Alright, 1954 draft. Load. So if I go to my player roster and I'm the Cubs. Alright, here's my team. So I can sit here and say like, I'm going to put Dittmer in reserves and bring up Cavaretta. And let's get Bill Wilson had more at-bats. Get him up here for Bob Serve maybe. I don't know. And do we want Dittmer up for Hoffman? I don't know. Yeah, so you can mess around with that. And let's look at our pitching staff. Yeah, Joe Black is not going to be up. Constanti will be up, and Worthington will be up for Larry. I think we're good here. So again, this is just the active batters and pitchers and reserves. This isn't the batting order and the defense. So we want to go into, let's take care of the pitching first. I'll knock that out, and then we'll deal with the lineups. All right. So, yeah, that'll work. got a 5-man rotation here. I could move, let's do this. I could move Haddix, Gromick, Ford, Grimm, Jones. Okay. I'm cool with that. Let's look at our defense. Burgess, Skowron, McDougall, Rosen, Grammis, Noren, Musial, Gordon. So I think what we were going to do here, and this is versus righties. Okay, you can see up here, and then down here you also have C versus lefties. So let's deal with the right-handed defensive lineup. So Burgess is there. I think we want to do this. Musial here. Noren or Post in center. Let's go with Post in center. Skowron's going to play against lefties. We're going to do... Jackie has how many at-bats here? 386. So he can get in here. Gordon, 363. Post had 400 something, I think. 451. Noren had 426. Alright, so let's do this. Gordon will play against... Let's do something like that. Yeah, I think I'm good with this. Alright, let's see versus lefties. Okay, so Walker Cooper in there at catcher, Skowron at first. We'll got Musial out in the outfield now. Jackie is going to come out of the lineup, I believe. Let's see, who can we put in left field then? Post is a right field, center field. Alright, so we'd have to play Noren. So maybe we keep Jackie in. We're gonna keep Jackie in against righties versus lefties. We're gonna put Alright, I think this is what we're gonna keep Jackie in against lefties. And here is where we're gonna have to put, let's see, do any of these guys, none of these guys have a decent number of at-bats. Gordon does. So maybe we do this, maybe we put that. Let's see if that'll work. But then Gordon's in here, we gotta get him out of here. Well, there's another option, is to put Cavaretta at first. Keep Musial in the outfield. No, does that gets rid of Gordon now. Alright, so Cavaretta, I know he doesn't have enough at-bats, but he'll get swapped out as needed. Cavaretta, McDougall, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll have, versus lefties, we'll have Gordon. Gordon's going to play third because Rosen doesn't have enough at-bats. Jackie, and did we have Post? Post is in center there. Alright, maybe we go with Wilson here. Something like that. And we have Dittmer. I'd rather have Hoffman up, I think. Let's fix that. Player roster. Or Majeski. Let's go with Majeski up. And back to defense. And back to there. Because I don't think McDougal has a ton of at-bats. Yeah. Alright. I think that's pretty good. The only issue I've got now is Grammas playing every day, but I think he had 142 games, so it is what it is. He's going to have to play pretty much every day. Alright, so now I've got the defense lined up. Let's look at our batting order. Batting order versus lefties. Let's do righties first. Key pinch hitter, Dusty Rhodes, excellent. And Grammas is not going to lead off. What was Noren? 395 on base versus righties. Burgess. Grammas is going to hit at the bottom of the order, not at the top. McDougal versus righties. 358 on base, not awful, but not great. You're coming down here. Cavaretta. 441 on base versus righties. You are going to be at the top of the order. Burgess had a 449 on base. This is incredible. I know we're not fast at the top of the order, but we are getting on base at a great rate. Alright, then the bottom, the middle third of the order, we're going to have, let's see, he slugged 498. Obviously, Musial's going to hit third. 415. And Rosen slugged 486. So Noren, Rosen, Post. Was Noren, what was he, 496, 498? Alright. I'm pretty happy with that lineup. We've got a pretty sick bench here. And then versus lefties. Jackie's going to bubble up to the top here with his 447 on base. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot that we don't have DH. Where's our DH? League. Where do we set that up? Season, start new season. Designated hitter. There we go. That's going to be helpful. We'll come back and figure out the schedule later. Actually, no, we can do this here. We don't want an 81 game season. Oh, I got to do generated schedule, I think. There we go. 162, blah, 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 blah. Start new season. Yes. Sure. And play ball. Here's the old time machine. This will normalize to whatever era you select. So if I wanted these 1954 players to play in like the 1987 rabbit ball or if I wanted them to play in the dead ball, I could select a specific year and it would normalize the stats to um, be more equivalent to the numbers you would expect in those time frames. All right, let me go back to where I was, which is my batting order. And I think I'm reconsidering. Well, now that we have the DH, yeah, I'm going to have to rethink the batting orders here. So let's go back to the right-handed lineup. Let's go back to starting defense first, actually. So I got to plug a DH in here. Dusty Rhodes at DH is going to be incredible. I know he won't play enough. But I think I want to put Jackie in as a DH. And have Dusty coming off the bench. And then versus lefties, my DH is not going to be Smokey Burgess. It will be... I'm not sure who it's going to be here. Let's see. Well, because all of these guys are in versus righties. I'm platooning at too many positions here. I think at bat-wise it's going to be Post or Rosen. Looks like Rosen's going to get in. Rosen, and then maybe he plays third instead of Gordon. And maybe Musial is my DH, and Skowron's my DH, Musial at first. There we go. Alright, let's get back to versus righties. So now I can put Jackie in left. And Irv Noren can be... I don't know if I like that, because he's flexible. He can play other outfield positions. I don't know if I like stuffing him at DH here. What if we do Cavaretta? There we go. Cavaretta's the DH. I like that better. And maybe we put Noren in center, Post in right. That way we only have one guy really out of position here. Alright, let's do that. Okay, so let's review the lineup again. I definitely want Jackie up top here. Cavaretta. As much as I like Smokey at the top, what's his speed rating? A 5. And what's Cavaretta's? A 9. So you, sir, you go to the top of the order. Smokey, you're not going to bat ninth, don't worry. Hold on. Because he slugs 522. So he's moving up the ranks here. He's actually going to hit fourth, I think. Perfect. I know he only has 4 homers, but he's going to hit cleanup. Alright. Versus lefties, let's just double check this. Yeah, Bill Wilson is not batting at the top of the order. What's Walker Cooper's numbers here versus lefties? They're incredible. Obviously, Musial's third. Cooper, I think, is going to hit second. Skowron had good numbers, 634 slug. Rosen versus lefties, 548. Gordon, 479. Grammas down at the bottom here. And Majeski probably over Wilson, I think. 400. And, oh, 458. Okay. There we go. Key pinch hitter versus lefties. I think it's still gonna. We're just gonna leave Dusty Rhodes in there for both. Okay, so let's just quick run through some of the other teams here. Select new team, because when the draft is going on, I'm not really paying attention to who the other guys got, right? So this is a batting order. Let's see batting versus righties. All right, so Boston, so they got Wally Moon, Yogi Berra, Vic Wertz. All right, pretty decent there. Let's look at their pitching. Spahn, Meyer, Serkant, Lopat, Brewer. I'm not overly concerned with who people got in the bullpen, really. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. All right, pick a new team. We'll just go down the list real quick so everybody knows who's on what team. White Sox, Roberts, Conley, Paul Minner, Bob Buell, Bob Perky. Okay. And let's look at their batting order versus righties. Hamner, Crandall. A little bit thin there. We got Harmon Killebrew in the lineup. Interesting. I think, oh, he might be their only second base option. Well, that's their problem, not mine. Cleveland. We got Jensen leading off, 22 steals. And for that time period, that was quite a bit. Eddie Matthews hitting cleanup, that's sweet. Jim Gilliam, Al Kaline. You know what, let me just do, yeah, we'll do this. Here we go, pitching rotation for Cleveland is headed up by Joe Coleman. Decent. Nothing wrong with this staff. It's not great, but it's not bad. All right, next team is Detroit. Kurt Simmons, Lou Burdett, nice top of the rotation here. Don Newcomb in an off year. Okay. Batting order for the Tigers is Johnny Temple, 21 steals, 300 average. Ferris Fain I was looking at. Don Mueller, Pee Wee Reese, Jim Greengrass. Okay. Yankees. Who did the Yankees wind up with here? D. Fondy with 20 steals, 292 average. Willie Mays on the Yankees. Interesting. See how that turns out. Alvin Dark, Roy Campanella. Pitching rotation. Ned Garver. Okay, the rest of these guys, decent. So again, if this were me and this were not a tutorial, I'd probably be tweaking who is in their bullpen. I might be fixing some of their lineups and so forth. I'm not going to do that for this. Lemon, Dixon, Johnny Padres, Vern Law, Chet Nichols. Pretty good rotation here for the Philadelphia A's. And their batting order. Busby with 17 steals. He's at the top of the order. We got Mickey Vernon, Bobby Avila. Avila hitting 332 that year. Harvey Keene. Okay. Next up, Baltimore. Oh, Hank Thompson leading off with 26 homers. Got Larry Doby in the middle of the order. Del Ennis, 25 jacks. And a pitching staff of, I wanted to do rotation, there it is, pitching rotation. Here we go. Erskine leading the rotation in innings, but Harshman with a 295 and Fritz Dorisch with a 272 ERA. There's Hoyt Wilhelm. Alright, so decent bullpen there as well. Washington, Mike Garcia, 19 and 8. Ruben Gomez, good top of the rotation there. The others decent ERAs, 3, 4, and 5 there. Ellis Kinder, 15 saves in the bullpen. Batting order, Ted Williams, Randy Jackson, Carl Furillo. There's Vic Power. All right. Select new teams. Milwaukee. We got Minnie Mignoso, Billy Goodman. Okay, some decent guys here. Then we got the rotation of Turley, Rush, and Pierce. Don Mossy in the bullpen, 1.94 ERA. All right, next up. Did I do their? Yeah, I did their batting. Okay, next up is Brooklyn. Brooklyn, we've got Lopata, Sauer with 41 homers, Gus Bell, Lockman, and Irvin, all with decent power here. Let's see their pitching staff. Early win, 270 innings, 23 victories. That's pretty good. Nuxall, Bird, Hacker, and Clipstein. All right. Cincinnati, Porterfield and Houtman. Bob Feller in the rotation here. All right, let's look at their batting order. Batting versus righties, we got Richie Ashburn leading off, 320 batting average. Ted Kluszewski, 49 homers and a 335 batting average. Ralph Kiner, Andy Pafko, Willie Jones, pretty good lineup. Okay. And yeah, we looked at that already. Let's see, New York. We've got Antonelli and Fowler atop their rotation here for the Giants. And Johnny Sane in the bullpen. Let's look at their batting order. Torgerson leading off, Jack Shepard, Hank Bauer, Frank Thomas, and there's Hank Aaron. So Hank Aaron on the Giants, Willie Mays on the Yankees, and this is what makes these drafts so interesting to conduct, for at least for me personally. All right, Philly. All right, Joe Adcock, 299 and 23. Duke Snyder, 350 average, 40 homers. Ernie Banks, 19 homers. 326 batting average from Nellie Fox. I'd probably put him on the top of the batting order here. That's just me. And then I don't think Elmer Vallow would be there. Maybe something like that. Just not going to do that for every team because I'd be sitting here all day long. Porticaro, Schmitz, Lowe's. All right. Let's see here. We've got Pittsburgh, Sal Magley, Don Little, Clem Labine in the pen. Batting order of Bruton, 34 stolen bases. Ray Boone, Gil Hodges, Rip Rapolsky, Red Schoendienst. New teams, St. Louis, Rivera, pretty good batting order here. Mickey Mantle, Royce Sievers, Fred Hatfield, 302. Pitching rotation for St. Louis is Virgil Trucks, Dean Stone, Frank Sullivan, and Marv Grissom in the pen. Alright, so we're going to wrap this video here. Check out the companion videos where we're going to simulate a season and then view the results. So until then, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Keep playing ball. Thanks.